Hi guys, I am going to go over Home Connection, page 113 and 114, titled More About Short Tower Sequence with you. We're going to go over this together so that if you're having troubles understanding, you can pause this recording as you're working and do your own work, and I can help guide you along. Or at the end of doing your own work independently, you can watch the video and see if you got your answers correct. All right, the first thing before we get started, make sure that you have your name and number up at the top so that you get credit for your hard work. And then I'm going to read number 1 out loud here. Here are the first 3 arrangements in the short towers cube sequence you worked with in class. Explain to an adult at home how the towers change from one arrangement to the next, and have the adult initial the sheet to show he or she understands. So in looking at this and trying to understand it, I'm noticing that here it's telling me what arrangement it is, so arrangement 1, 2, and 3. Then it shows me a picture of what each arrangement looks like, and then there's a box for initials. So right now what I want you to do is I want you to think about arrangement 1 and how that changes when they make arrangement 2. Think about what cubes they add on and where they add them on. And how does that change when they get to arrangement 3? Right now, I want you to pause the recording and go tell an adult the changes that you see or the patterns that you see. Go ahead. All right, make sure that an adult initials or signs this box right here, stating that you told them about the patterns that you see and what you notice in each arrangement. I'm just going to make some quick notes on what I noticed in each arrangement. I'm noticing in arrangement 1, there is 1 cube. In arrangement 2, I know that cube is still under there in the middle because it's holding up this cube on top. But then in arrangement 2, they have added arms. They've added 1, 2, 3, 4 arms, and they've added 1 on top. So with that 1 that's still hiding in the bottom, plus 1, 2, 3, 4 arms, and then they have that 1 on top, I can see that there are 1 plus 4 plus 1 cubes, which equals 6. In arrangement 3, I see that there's still that 1 cube on the bottom hiding under there. Then on each arm, they added another cube. So now there's 2 cubes on each arm. So I'm going to write that there's 2 cubes on each arm times 4 arms. And then they still have those 2 cubes on top now. So in looking at solving the parentheses first, 2 times 4 is 8. Plus that 1 that's hiding in the bottom, plus the 2 that are on top. I look for combinations to 10. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. Okay, let's go to 2A. It says, here is the 4th arrangement in the sequence. How many cubes are in this arrangement? So I'm going to just take notes again. I know there's that 1 in the middle hiding underneath, holding up the tower in the center. Then I know that there's 4 arms again. And each arm has 1, 2, 3 cubes. So 4 times 3 shows me how many cubes are on each arm. And then I check to see how many cubes are up here in the center of the tower. I have 3 cubes right there. Thinking about my order of operations, I'm always going to solve parentheses first. 4 times 3 is 12. They still have that 1 hiding underneath and the 3 up top. This time I'm looking for combinations to 15. 12 plus 3 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. And I'm going to make sure I label it with the word cubes and circle my answer. Letter B. Shanna says you don't have to count the cubes one by one to find out how many there are in the 4th arrangement. She says there's 1 cube in the middle and then 5 arms of 3 cubes each. Remember, these are the arms. Write an equation to show how Shanda figured out the number of cubes in the 4th arrangement. So we've already kind of been doing that. So here is Shanda's thinking. This is how she kind of drew a picture to show her understanding. So again, she mentions there's the 1 cube in the middle. So I'm going to show that 1 cube. Plus, now she talked about the arms. There's 5. There's 5 arms. Now this time she says there's 5 arms because she's talking about this being an arm right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms. That's where she got the 5 from. 5 arms of 3 cubes each. Here's how I show 5 arms of 3 cubes each. And since we counted this as an arm, we don't have to add it on at the end like we did in the other equation. So I have that 1 hiding, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms of 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And I have to make sure that I add that 1. And again, we came up with the same answer up above that Shanda used. We just showed it using this type of equation. Okay, so something I want you to pay attention to before we go into the back side is I want you to pay attention to the arrangement number and the number in each arm. So we have arrangement number 4 right here, and there's 3 in each arm. Right up here, we have arrangement number 3, and there's 2 in each arm. Then we have arrangement number 2, and there's 1 in each arm. So I hope that you're seeing the pattern right now. I want you to pause for a minute and think about what the pattern is that you're seeing, the pattern between the arrangement number and how many cubes are in each arm. All right, let's turn our paper to the back. We're going to use our knowledge of what we're noticing with the patterns to answer the next 2 questions. How many cubes are in the 5th arrangement? Use Shanda's method or come up with one of your own to figure it out without counting one by one. Label the picture of the arrangement 5 and write an equation to show your thinking. So right now I want you to pause the computer, take a minute to think about how we can figure out how many cubes are in arrangement 5 by using Shanda's method and how we would write that as an equation. Go ahead. All right, so in Shanda's method, she mentions that there's the 1 in the center that's hiding. So we have the 1 right there. And then she looked at each arm and she said, 1, 2, 3, 4. She loops these. There's 4 in that arm. I'm going to label it. 4 in this arm. I'm going to label it. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this arm. Label it. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this arm. And then remember, she counted this as an arm as well. There's 4 in that one. It's really important that we don't forget about the 1 in the center that's holding up this arm. So we have 1 in the center plus we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms. Each arm contains 4 cubes. Here's my equation. We always solve parentheses first. 5 times 4 is 20. Still have that 1 hidden underneath, so we add them together, we get 21 cubes. Now again, pay attention to our pattern. We're in arrangement 5, and there's 4 cubes in each arm. Let's move on to number 4. How many cubes would it take to build the 23rd arrangement in this sequence? Show your thinking using numbers, words, or labeled sketches. It's very important that we paid attention to each arrangement number and how many cubes were in each arm. So if I have arrangement 23, I'm going to look above and think about my pattern. I know I have that 1 cube hiding. I'm just going to write it in here. I have 1 cube. And then I know I have 5 arms. I've always had 5 arms. So I'm just going to even sketch that out quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms. And in each arm, I'm going to have 22 cubes because it's always the number less than the arrangement. So I have 22 in each arm. So now in writing out my equation, I have that 1 plus I have 5 arms, 22 are in each arm, equals. Now I'm going to solve 5 times 22. I can think of this as a couple different ways. I can solve 5 times 20 first, and then solve 5 times 2 next. So 5 times 20, 5 times 2 is 10, attach a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. I add them up, I get 110. That's one way to solve 5 times 22. I could also solve it with my traditional method. 5 times 2 is 10. My 1 goes up here, my 0 goes down here. 5 times 2, which is really 20, is going to be 100 plus one more set of 10 would be 110 as my total. Either way, I get 110. So I'm going to replace this part of my equation with 110. And I'm still going to add one more to get my 111. Oops, I better add the cubes. All right, if you're up for the challenge, I want you to answer number 5 and turn it in. Also, before you turn in your paper, I would like you up in the corner where it said, right up here somewhere in the front of your homework paper, I want you to tell me, what is your favorite candy bar? Or just favorite candy in general? You know my answer, Twix. You write down your answer. All right, guys, thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.